is Lee Johnson. Noble getting involved once more. Williams.
This place is bouncing for this big, massive Barclays Premier League game. Liverpool start without Fernando Torres, but the Spaniard is fit enough for a place on the bench. Rafa Benitez makes one change to the side, which drew against Atletico Madrid here on Tuesday. Yossi Benayoun makes his first Premier League start since the win over Manchester United here. Xabi Alonso drops down to the bench. James Morrison has failed the fitness test on his back injury, so misses out. Do-hyun Kim makes his return from medial ligament damage to replace him. Apart from that, it's the same West Bromwich Albion side, which drew with Blackburn at the Hawthorns last week. It means Ryan Donk keeps his place in the side. He's conceded 2 penalties in his last 2 games. Manchester United beaten at Arsenal earlier today. That result has gone down well, as expected, here at Anfield. And Liverpool with a chance to go back to the top of the Premier League for 24 hours at least, with a win or a draw here. West Bromwich Albion in the bottom 3 at start of play. They haven't scored against Liverpool in the Premier League. An incredible record. Could that end here at Anfield this evening? Liverpool level on points with Chelsea going into the weekend. Chelsea with that far superior goal difference though at the top. Liverpool may see this, they won't disrespect West Bromwich Albion of course, they may see this though as a chance to get a few goals here this evening. West Bromwich Albion of course will have other thoughts. And we saw West Bromwich Albion a few weeks ago go to Manchester United and play football. They weren't defensive, which is unusual for a side going to the home of a Big 4 club. At times, Liverpool's Achilles heel has been trying to beat teams that they're expected to beat. And they've made a huge statement of intent with a win at Chelsea and the victory here over Manchester United. Remember, if they would have beaten Manchester United twice last season, they would have won the title. Such fine margins at the top of the Premier League. Is this to be their season? For West Bromwich Albion, it's all about staying up in the Premier League. Hull City have shown the way so far. Stoke City as well, gathering points. Can West Bromwich Albion come away with a famous draw victory here? And before kick-off, fans and players uniting to pay tribute to those who have given their lives in wars around the globe.
Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend is the 90th anniversary of the end of hostilities in the First World War, and since that date, young men and women have continued to lay down their lives in the service of this country, as they are doing still in conflicts around the world. We ask you now to stand in silence and remember those servicemen and women who have made the supreme sacrifice.
Remembrance weekend, remembered on Merseyside. Man in the middle today is Peter Walton. Last took charge of Liverpool in their 3-2 victory at Manchester City. One of their late comebacks, and sent off Manchester City Zabaleta in the process. West Bromwich Albion attacking the Kop end in the first half to get us underway at Anfield. Big teams with big title ambitions react to defeat in the biggest way. How will Liverpool respond to tumbling at Tottenham Hotspur last week? A win or draw will put them back on top of the Premier League for 24 hours at least. West Bromwich Albion have never scored against Liverpool in the Premier League. A foregone conclusion? There never is one in this league, is there? Alongside me, Gary O'Reilly.
No, you cannot take anything for granted. I think Hull City have proven that. Tony Mowbray knows all too well from his playing days and managerial experiences that he has got to organise his team mentally as well as tactically to come here and achieve something.
West Bromwich Albion attacking the Kop end. They will come and play football. Usually you see teams come to the likes of Anfield, Old Trafford, etc. to try and defend and snatch something on the break, but West Bromwich Albion are a footballing side. That's the way they won the Championship last season, albeit a different test in the Premier League. Paul Robinson trying to win the throw-in, and does too for West Bromwich Albion. You get the feeling it'll be all about the way West Bromwich Albion start this game, to see how their confidence either rises or falls.
Yes, I think the individual players out there who've never experienced Anfield, they'll be vital, because if they have their own agendas and don't stick to Tony Mowbray's tactics, they will be exposed and become undone. Liverpool back in a frame of mind at home in the league with a job to do, and Rafa Benitez will have made sure, even without Fernando Torres, that job is done.
On the bench this evening, Fernando Torres. He can't wait to get back onto that field. Ishmael Miller chasing after this, and Pepe Reina, as ever, always quick off his line.
Had to be. Miller's got pace, and he does get in there unmarked.
That's Corrin. Now Greening. Zavalon's been a big revelation so far, the fullback for West Bromwich Albion. Borja Valero linked with a move to Liverpool in the summer. Rafa Benitez did have a look at the former Real Mallorca man.
He's won a lot of fans throughout the Premier League so far, and I think the fact that West Bromwich Albion do play good football is a lot of it's down to him.
Jonathan Greening likes to knit play together. Bednar with the layoff. There's Johnny Zavalon. Good start this by West Bromwich Albion, just pushing Liverpool back.
It's confident. You can see the belief in the way that they want to play their game is there, and they all seem to be comfortable with the possession.
There's the danger, though. Gaps in behind. Dirk trying to do exactly that and get Liverpool going in this first half.
I think they'll understand that there will be phases of the game when Liverpool dominate, and they've got to be careful and aware of that.
The captain, Steven Gerrard. Zavalon away. Valero squeezing the ball here to Corrin. No James Morrison for West Bromwich Albion this evening. Failed a fitness test on a back injury he picked up last week against Blackburn Rovers. And West Bromwich Albion were hit late on, just like Liverpool were at Tottenham. 11 points though so far for West Bromwich Albion. The best start to a Premier League campaign. This is Ryan Donk, who's conceded 2 penalties in his last 2 games, but Tony Mowbray has stuck with him. Riera. So Aurelio's long ball, and Ryan Donk with a header.
They've got to work well, Liverpool, if they're going to try and play balls in behind or over the top, because Albion do possess 2 rather large central defenders, so got to come with a little bit better delivery than that.
I spoke to Tony Mowbray there in the week. I asked him as a player, did you ever get anything at Liverpool? He said yes, a hiding.
And a cup of tea.
He's brought his team here in good spirit. It's the way Tony Mowbray works. Yossi Benayoun starting for Liverpool this evening. First start since the victory here against Manchester United in the Premier League. Everything to his left.
He'll feel that's important for him to a point to prove, Benayoun.
Great challenge by the Israeli on Paul Robinson, and a free kick here to West Bromwich Albion.
I think Robinson makes more of it than there actually was, but there we are.
No wins in their last 4 games for Tony Mowbray's side. They slowly slid down into the bottom 3. No time for panic yet for him or Peter Grant. Picked up that draw against Blackburn Rovers at the Hawthorns last week.
You can see them, they're not happy. I think the space in central areas is what they're discussing there. They want that tighter. They want the shape of their team to be solid and not get opened up.
Miller battling. Benayoun count ahead of him. That's Paul Robinson. Now Bednar. Still a raw centre forward in the Premier League, so says his manager. Still trying to find his way in the top flight. Zavalon. Just over hitting the cross, but again it's a promising start from West Bromwich Albion. They haven't come here to sit back.
No, they have, and I think Benitez a little bit unhappy with the fact they've been able to get delivery in. And the other side of the coin there, you've got Tony Mowbray be disappointed they've got that opportunity and it's been wasted, because as you've already highlighted, Zavalon does possess enough ability to be able to deliver some quality.
Yeah, it's been a big hit, Zavalon. The big clubs are looking as well. Tony Mowbray says if one of the big clubs come in, I won't stand in your way, but he's hoping that Zavalon will stay at least for a couple of seasons at the Hawthorns.
When he was involved in the Dutch Olympic side, was he not? Delayed his start to the season, but you can see why Tony Mowbray was very keen to bring him in.
It was actually Ruud Gullit who gave him his debut in his Feyenoord days. That's Bednar. Raw power on the 2 centre forwards that Liverpool will have to deal with this evening.
As we've already touched on, a couple of big guys at the back. They'll be marching forward. Miller's in there, Bednar's in there. They've got presence.
Ishmael Miller, 2 goals in his last 2 games for West Bromwich Albion. Carragher watching him. Olsen forward as well, the match winner against Middlesbrough. Needs a good delivery this from Jonathan Greening. Greening puts it into that danger zone.
Just didn't get the sense that Albion players attacked that with any ferocity, because it was a good delivery. Liverpool just sinking back in on Reina.
Liverpool have only conceded from 2 set pieces so far this season. One, that's a terrific free kick from Garrido at Manchester City. The other, the own goal from Jamie Carragher last week. So they've been pretty tight on set pieces so far this season.
What I am interested in, Gary, is the fact that Albion, and this one here, long raking diagonal balls, as if they've decided that there's a little bit of vulnerability in those areas and they're trying to exploit it.
It's a tough old few days for West Bromwich Albion. Chelsea next up for them at the Hawthorns next week. If they take anything from these 2 games, I'm sure Tony Mowbray will be delighted.
Well, they must take strength from the results that Hull and Stoke have been able to pull together, the results that Tottenham have been able to pick up in the last few weeks. I think Tony Mowbray will bring that into the psychology of his team.
There's Riera, settled in well to life at Anfield. Good to go, little gap appearing there, but Donk closing down. Liverpool get the throw in.
Does well to see it, Donk, but a little bit slow to see the pass opportunity.
Aurelio. Mascherano, and that's a comfortable play for Scott Carson. Back at Anfield, made 9 appearances during his time here, but of course spent the majority of his time out on loan.
Bit of a personal issue for him on his return, I'm sure.
He does have a 100% record in league football on this ground, of course, when he was in goal for Liverpool. Hoping to maintain that this evening.
You know, that's the sort of thing goalkeepers will hang on to and keep with them.
Benayoun. Some frustrated cries already coming from the Kop. Long ball towards Bednar.
had a fair bit of possession, Albion, but you're looking at this and saying, have they really hurt Liverpool? Have they got in behind? Have they stretched their defence? Not yet. We're pushing into the 10th minute, but they haven't really shown that they've got that ability about them at the moment.
There's Yossi Benayoun, who does possess ability. Out with the layoff is Steven Gerrard. How often do you see that? Him running onto the ball like that. The way he moves his body as well, just leaning back as he struck that.
What's worrying is the space he has when he receives this. What is worrying also is the fact he doesn't really test Carlson even more. We're so used to seeing him hit the back of the net or at least hit the woodwork.
Well, he's got over 100 goals for Liverpool now. Rafa Benitez, he's a manager who's never satisfied. Says he wants 200 now from that man, which would work out about another 20 a season for him.
You know, he's probably set the same target for himself. You can't be as strong-minded and successful as Gerrard is and not put yourself to the test, and I'm sure he has set quite a high level to achieve.
No opportunities in this game as of yet. West Bromwich Albion have seen plenty of the ball, but haven't really hurt Liverpool yet. Liverpool vice versa.
I think there you saw a little bit of the reason why Donk may have conceded a penalty or two this season. A little bit impetuous with his challenges, and the marking not the best.
He does like to get stuck in, Ryan Donk. Theo Walcott and Nicky Butt can vouch for that in previous encounters. Corrin was calling for the ball. It's gone in long towards Miller.
But again, you see the cross as it comes in is the wrong side of those Liverpool defenders. They've got their back to Reina. They need to be facing Reina and defending with a problem. Not quite achieved that yet, Albion.
Just the once Liverpool have opened the scoring on home territory in the Premier League this season. That was here against Portsmouth in the 1-0 victory. That's Greening finding Paul Robinson. Interesting to see just how well Liverpool will bounce back from the defeat at Tottenham last week. Steven Gerrard said in the dressing room the heads weren't down, it wasn't despondency, it was bemusement as to how they lost that game.
Well, I think the official term was a battering. That's what Tottenham took and came away with 3 points, which I'm sure confuses Harry Redknapp as much as it does Rafa Benitez.
Vieira scurrying away from Ben. Now look at that for the flick. Now Kaut, Gerrard to his right. Keane ahead of him, Benayoun. And also Arbeloa arriving on that far side. Plenty in the middle to hit here. Not the most convincing of clearances from Olsen. Was the second time. West Bromwich Albion just can't get out. It's Robbie Keane. Straight at Scott Carson. Big chance for Liverpool.
It's a good little instinctive turn and strike from Keane. Nice little stab through from Mascherano. Great competitive instinct. Little toe. First time. Straight down Carson's welcoming arms. You're just looking at West Brom unable to clear their lines properly, and there's players around there for Liverpool you know will find the back of the net sooner or later.
Still looking for his first Premier League goal in a red shirt, Robbie Keane. His last was for Tottenham at Reading, the back end of last season, the winner in that game. It's a superb goal as well.
A little bit concerned for Liverpool there. They're defending so deep into Reina's 18-yard area with the presence of Miller and Bednar. They're asking themselves to compete on a one-to-one physical level. That doesn't always work in the defender's favour.
Greening. Zabalon. Valero finding Greening again. Nowhere ready for West Bromwich Albion to go, and eventually they make the mistake. It's Yossi Benayoun. Carlton Keane in the middle. He's taken off his toe, and Liverpool get the corner.
That's not the first time Liverpool have snatched possession in midfield. What you're seeing is not only have you got Carlton Keane further forward, Benayoun has pushed up, and they push up very high in midfield, and they're catching West Brom out. When it comes across here, it's good work because they close him down while he's trying to look for a cutback or a slide across, and a little bit of indecision from Benayoun.
Kaut forward. Benayoun waiting in the middle as well. Aurelio and Gerrard to work this. Agger just at the far post. There he is. Olsen is his shadow. West Bromwich Albion deal with it for now. Again, nowhere really for them to go. This is Count. Scored a cracker against Tottenham last week. Does such a great job. Javier Mascherano just in front of that Liverpool back four. But the throw-in has gone against Rafa Benitez's side. I did say he's never happy.
Well, he's not happy at the moment because his team are not in control.
Donk. Almost a costly error from the Dutch defender.
Don't need any more of those. Tony Mowbray will be explaining a few simple facts to him.
As a centre-half himself, of course. This is Ishmael Miller. That could have ricocheted anywhere. As it is, it's a corner to West Bromwich Albion.
It's not comfortable, is it? And I think that's the thing I look at after the first 15 minutes for Liverpool. They're not at ease. And a little bit of pinball there could have easily gone past Rain to the other side of the post.
Well, they have big targets here, don't they, West Bromwich Albion? Miller there on a 6-yard line. Bednar behind him. Don coming forward. Olsen in the mix as well. And try and set themselves again inside that Liverpool penalty area. And comfortably cleared. That one's a little bit more awkward for Pepe Reina.
And Olsen there sliding in, trying to achieve something. But I think, for my mind, West Brom lose the impetus from the corner initially. The quality of delivery with big targets like Olsen give them a chance.
Most admits he needs to score more goals. 5 last season, the 1 so far this season for West Bromwich Albion. That winner against Middlesbrough, which could prove vital in the shake-up at the end.
Certainly a foul. Agger there rolled by Miller. Took everything but the ball.
Remember, a draw or win will put Liverpool back on top of the Premier League. That's Jonas Olsen. A flat ball towards Bednar. Now it's Corrin. It's a lovely squeeze ball. Look who was back for Liverpool doing the defending. On Valero, it was Jamie Carragher who's leaned across him.
Whether that was a legitimate lean, I'm not too sure, but I tell you what, Corrin's ball is the best of the game so far.
Now this is within range for Liverpool. A word from Peter Walton to Jonas Olsen. And the card is out.
Gets a piece of him, but it's a tackle from behind, is it? This is the pass from Corrin. You know what? That's a push. Which makes it
a penalty.
Thank you.
Jamie Carragher with that challenge. He will say good old-fashioned defending, I'm sure, as you may have done in the past.
If I'm Jamie Carragher and I've been in that position before, nothing wrong with that, ref. Gerrard
to put this teasingly inside the West Bromwich Albion penalty area, knocked away by Bednar. Benayoun, nice ball, still plenty forward, including Daniel Agger, had to stretch for that, and comfortable again for Carson.
And again, West Brom not clearing their lines properly and nearly paying the price.
Almost 19 minutes played, the biggest opportunity so far. It's fallen to Robbie Keane with a shot on the turn, which was comfortably saved by Carson. Liverpool just trying to gather some momentum. It's Dirk Kuyt who's been in fine goal-scoring form. Was he hauled down? And he gets back on his feet. And the ball goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, look, Robbie Keane explaining a few things. Give me the pass. I think when that one gets congested, Kuyt's looking at the strike on his own, but Benayoun was wide and open, and the pass should have gone out to the Israeli player. See here, opens up to the right, slide him across. He's got Carson's goal at his mercy. Then it's too late.
Very important to Rafa Benitez, Dirk Kuyt. He's appeared in every Premier League game so far this season. You'll notice when the team is rotated, it's very rare that Dirk Kuyt is left out of it.
Not sure there's many players in a Liverpool shirt will give you that much energy. Phenomenal work rate from Kuyt. And he's adaptable. You see him playing up front as a striker as he is now, or you see him playing in a wider, deeper midfield position, and I think that's what Rafa Benitez likes about him, his utility.
Corrin just this time giving the ball away. Daniel Agger, remember his mistake against Wigan here a few weeks ago when he was closed down quickly by Amir Zaki. Zaki put Wigan in front. And Agger still finding his feet and his fitness again after 10 months out of the game. Almost the perfect ball there from Kuyt, trying to find Yossi Benayoun. Steven Gerrard. It's a great ball from Gerrard. Keane has Donk for company. Aurelio. Ball from him, and the move breaks down for Liverpool, but they may win the ball back, but maybe not. This is Kim, Bednar ahead of it. And Javier Mascherano, mentioned before, he just so much work in front of the back four, and it's a vital touch from him there. Now Benayoun, Kuyt ahead of it. Keane waiting on the edge of the penalty area.
But the great thing for Benayoun is the movement ahead of him. You see Kuyt moves out wide, that opens up a space, drags defenders with him. Keane then moves inside, see if he can create space or get the little pass through. That's the thing Benitez likes. Anyone in possession has options.
Good news for Rafa Benitez this week. The owners want to extend his contract, give him a new deal here. He wants it done by the end of this month, so it doesn't distract from what Liverpool are trying to do. He says he'd take 20 years now.
Sure he would.
Like a 5-year deal, I think, is heading Rafa Benitez's way. Riera wants it back. Riera gets it back.
Oh, it's just a little bit off from Gerrard. Not often you get to mention that. A pass from Steven Gerrard. Just Riera wanting a little bit wider.
Great touch from Olsen just to knock the ball away, and that took a deflection. It was awkward, that, for Carson.
Makes it look comfortable, Carson, but I think it's Benayoun that's come straight in from his wide position to try and nick it before he gets there.
Paul Robinson looking for Kim, back after medial ligament damage picked up against Middlesbrough. There's Gerrard again, always looking around, isn't he, at the big picture as the ball rolls his way.
It's awareness, it's an understanding of where your teammates are. It's a natural instinct for him to be able to compute the solutions to his problems.
They say it's the same with Wayne Rooney. He always has a picture in his head. He knows instinctively as the ball comes towards him where everyone is on the field.
You're taught as a young player to have that ability to generate that in your mind, so as it becomes a natural factor of your game.
No foul, says Peter Walton, and Liverpool with the ball here. Benayoun. Now Gerrard. Dirk Kuyt hounding Jonathan Greening. This is Robinson.
You can see the belief in Albion players. They don't get flustered, they don't panic, they're comfortable with the ball at their feet. Occasionally. Thank you for that.
Agger just got there ahead of Bednar. There's Aurelio, who's keeping Andrea De Sena out of the Liverpool side. Robbie Keane spinning away from Donk, normally a scorer against West Bromwich Albion. Look at that for a back heel from Robbie Keane. Almost a sweeping move from Liverpool.
Keane's beginning to enjoy himself. And having seen him in his previous incarnations at other clubs, when he's in this sort of mood, he's going to be wonderful to watch.
He scored 6 in the last 5 he started in the league against West Bromwich Albion. Could this be the day he finally gets a goal for Liverpool in the Premier League? Well, how's your look there as the ball stayed in?
Twist Donk all over the show, and the thing is, they're stretched Albion. That is just wonderful. That comes off, you'd be replaying that for hours. Just
didn't quite have the end product.
But you can see Liverpool's dominance beginning to show itself, beginning into wider areas. Those channels are opening up.
And here's the space here for Arbeloa. But Liverpool, as Gary says, just building up ahead of steam. They have mainly been a second-half team so far this season, taking the time to get into games.
And that's a liability that Benitez can't afford too often. You're getting in good opposition and you're slow off the mark. You find your 2-3 goals down if they're the right opposition. And it's a game you cannot play. You've got to hit that ground running from the first whistle and make sure you dominate.
Ismail Miller, first time as a player at Anfield.
Look how he's smothered, Greening, when he comes into Edgewood. A big sea of red shirts.
Yeah, just running into a cul-de-sac. Doesn't lack confidence, this man, Roman Bednar. Says in some ways he's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. And he'll never swap a shirt with an opposing player until that player comes towards him, which he is hoping will happen soon. Strikers never short of confidence, are they?
You need confidence as a striker. However, I'm not sure Roman has the best attitude. But there you go.
He is nicknamed Mr. Grumpy at West Bromwich Albion, Bednar. He's quite a character. I don't think he agrees with that, does he, Robbie King?
Yeah, what gave you that idea?
To build up an understanding with Couts in recent weeks, with Fernando Torres being out of the side because of that hamstring injury. Reminder, Torres is on the bench this evening.
Given for offside and still complaining about things. But you know his energy will be there. You know he'll give you everything he's got. Sometimes there's points where you say, is he trying too hard? But he's got a whole new set of circumstances to adapt to at Anfield.
He's done well alongside Cout. He's set up 4 of Cout's goals.
That's the thing with Robbie Keane, not just a scorer, but a provider. And it's that completeness that I'm sure Rafa Benitez was interested in.
Now, what can West Bromwich Albion provide from this corner kick at the Kop end?
It's that quality of delivery. They went for the shorter corner on the other side, failed miserably. Wonder if they'll be a little bit more direct. See Liverpool's zonal marking there.
Miller is right in front of Pepe Reina. Needs a better ball in there than that.
That's poor. Very poor from delivery.
And it was Mascherano flinging himself at the ball. Breaks down though for Liverpool. It's Greening. Now Roman Bednar. Well, those are the positions when they get into them that West Bromwich Albion really have to make count.
Thing is, Agger allows Bendtner to turn. That for me is a problem as a defender, but if his service is going to be like that, it's not that big a deal. But you can see how Albion work well with the width, both left and right. You see, when that ball's in a central area, you've got players hugging the touchline. That means they're stretching Liverpool. They're trying to create space for themselves.
Thumping challenge by Zavalot.
Just that final ball. Gerrard trying it hurriedly. Has to take it immediately. Doesn't quite get the accuracy he was hoping for to just slide Keane in.
And you can hear a few grumbles of discontent at Anfield so far, but these Liverpool fans will know they've seen it long enough, and especially this season, the team does have a goal in them and does take time to get going.
Tony Mowbray will be looking at this, the first step in his game plan. Keep Liverpool off the score sheet for the first 30 minutes or so. Just settle everybody down, make sure they're happy, and they get a few little chances to create something themselves.
That's the Counts with the layoff. And now Yossi Benayoun. Carlson with the block. Appeals for handball. Liverpool plays adamant it's a corner.
Well, he's definitely convinced there's something. But you see there, when Gerrard comes through in the centre midfield, he's got acres. Ball hits arm. Now, is it intentional? I'm not so sure it is. But the arm is up. But you will slide in like that, your arm does naturally go up. It's... Ooh, that can see why he was adamant.
Big talking point. Peter Walton was sure that that was not intentional from Olsen. Plenty of height on that cross. And Dirk-Cout's header straight to Miller. And that's a talking point, isn't it? On the half-hour mark at Anfield. Was that a deliberate handball by Olsen? The ball into space, but a weak and tame effort, comfortable for Scott Carson from Robbie Keane.
Robbie Keane's caught in two minds. Does he take that strike over his shoulder, try and catch Carson out in the near post, or does he set it back for Dirk-Cout? Just seems the week for Liverpool and penalties, doesn't it? Contentious ones, that is.
Well, it was interesting. The referee the other night, the Swede who was in charge of their Champions League game, said that he found the atmosphere here at Anfield dizzying.
That's what you need to know from a referee, isn't it?
Well, many have put two and two together and thought may well have just been caught up by the roar of the appeal, but Rafa Benitez adamant it was a penalty. Steven Gerrard afterwards said that it was debatable.
He can say that after having scored it.
It was a big goal for Liverpool in the quest to reach the knockout phase of the Champions League. That 1-1 draw here against Atletico Madrid on Tuesday. And Gerrard showed nerves of steel to tuck that ball home in that penalty kick. Didn't get one here though. They wanted one. Peter Walton waved those appeals away. It's Greening. Forced backwards here by Cout. Robbie Keane had just closed off the line back to Scott Carson. Gerrard.
Greening's clearance there, high risk, straight into the central areas where Liverpool at the moment have a dominance.
Liverpool have won their last 10 encounters against West Bromwich Albion. 9 in the league. And West Bromwich Albion have not scored here in the Premier League. It really is a startling statistic. Well, they put an end to that this evening.
Well, who fouled who on this one? Referee deciding it was Bednar. Must be frustrating for Bednar. Doesn't see a great deal of service, but has to get through a lot of work, chasing, harrying, coming deep.
Ball was just taken off Dirk-Cout. The flag had gone up. It's a free kick to West Bromwich Albion.
Had that linesman not flagged, I think the referee would have been considering a different decision altogether.
Yeah, it looked like a handball. He'll be pleased though so far. Tony Mowbray will see this game, as Gary mentioned, in segments every 15 minutes maybe. If we keep getting through that, we've got an opportunity.
He won't be entirely happy. I think Liverpool have had too many chances in the last 10-15 minutes to make him comfortable. But he'll be looking at this point and saying, right, OK, that's the first part completed. Let's keep it like this. Let's see it now to the interval. Steady, sensible, not allow ourselves to be exposed, and just allow that mental strength to contain itself.
Greening was looking for Kim. Aurelio, crossing opportunity.
But you see Benayoun and Keane both go near. One near, one far. One stops, one goes. Whatever way it works, you've got to have alternatives. And Benayoun joins Keane on the near post. Therefore, Aurelio's cross is long and gone.
Okay, now another promising position for Liverpool. It's Valero. Gerrard, great vision again. Liverpool in front. He's got his Premier League goal at last. A moment he has dreamed of. Robbie Keane scores for Liverpool. They have the lead.
You look at it and think maybe it's Keane's weaker foot, but doesn't he take it with calmness? In that sort of mood so far, isn't he, Robbie Keane? Give away possession, scrappy. Now you see it open itself up. When he moves, defender Olsen nowhere near tight enough, and that's the cost. Still got a lot to do, Keane. Just a little dink will do it. Comfortable finish in the end.
It's his third goal for Liverpool. His first in the Premier League since his big money move from Tottenham Hotspur.
He needs that, Keane. Needs that moment. He was hoping for it much earlier in the season, but he'll take it when it arrives, I'm sure.
His last Premier League strike back in May at the Madejski Stadium, the winner for Tottenham at Reading. Ultimately cost Reading their Premier League status. But his manager's come out this week and said it's not just about his goals, he gives a lot more to this Liverpool side. But as a striker, you want that first Premier League goal, don't you, at your new club? And he's got it now. Good ball to set him away as well. That will relieve the tension somewhat on the face of Rafa Benitez, not too much.
No, he'll just look at it and say, that's what I expect. I think Tony Mowbray, having discussed his strategy, will be thinking, well, yeah, that was going to happen sooner or later. But what he'll be frustrated is the way that they've given possession away so cheaply.
It's Keane again. Still it's Keane. Benayoun and Count were both waiting in the middle. Interesting to see how West Bromwich Albion respond now. Going behind here at Anfield.
Just got to take a deep breath. If they go chasing it out individually, they'll leave big gaps. They've got to stick to the game plan Mowbray has sent them out with. I hope that they can create something. But possession, for me, key. Give possession away in your own half, you are really giving yourself a lot of problems, as that shows.
They did keep Manchester United at bay until the 55th minute at Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago, and then folded. Yeah, they've gone behind in the 34th to Robbie Keane. Feels a whole lot better for them. Miller was just being tapped there by Riera.
Miller be a little bit disappointed. Referee hasn't let play go on.
He's back, waiting to make his bow back on the field. This is Olsen. Bednar. Gingerly picking himself up, the Czech striker. Arbeloa for Liverpool, who have the lead by 1-0. Mascherano bursting forward here. Keane is waiting in the middle again. It's Riera, just stolen off his toe by Zavalon. And then Donk with the header. West Bromwich Albion almost opened up again. Still, they can't get the ball clear. They have an opportunity now.
Just giving themselves so many problems, West Brom.
Well, he made an important intervention a few seconds ago. Liverpool were almost in. Gerrard's header. Now it's Dirk Kuyt. It's Robbie Keane again. Oh, he tried the clever one through the legs of Donk.
They're queuing up to get the second. And if they get it before the break, Tony Mowbray have a lot more problems than he anticipated.
Keane is in the mood. You see the wind swirling around Anfield. The rain has been on and off here. Aurelio's corner. Now it's Dirk Kuyt trying to wriggle some room for the shot. And plays it back. Mascherano, not often a goal scorer. Scott Carson again deals comfortably with that.
He does, but he's got to deal with Robbie Keane when that strike comes in. See it here, it's very central. But Keane's there on the move. Anything that pops off of Carson, he'll have.
Liverpool dominant now. It's a good start to the game by West Bromwich Albion. Took the game to Liverpool, but slowly but surely Liverpool have overtaken them. Look at that.
Yeah, a little bit one-sided. but you can see the dominance is there, the control in the central areas. For my mind, West Brom are very exposed. The spaces that are appearing in the central midfield area is what's causing a lot of problems, combined with the fact they are giving possession away in their own half. That, for instance, just a key illustration of what we're saying. When this comes in here, Keane between two central defenders, marking is poor, and the job is done.
Delighted, Robbie Keane. All he needs now is one at the Kop end, which he's also been dreaming about since he was a child. Boyhood Liverpool fan, had a trial here, age 14. But decided to go elsewhere. Benayoun, it's nice, neat football, almost too intricate.
But look at them, they're queuing up. There's two runners for the one pass. It's a little bit too easy for them right now, and I think Tony Mowbray will want the break to come as soon as possible. Get them down, talk to them.
Well, they're just anticipating that Bednar would run in behind him.
You might call that unconventional defending from Robinson.
Liverpool dominant. West Bromwich Albion now more or less in their shell. They've come here to play football. They started that way, but Liverpool well in control. Riera looking for Gerrard, just let him run past him to his big pal Carragher. Arbeloa, Mascherano. This is Cout letting it run. Quick thinking again from Cout and Keane. Riera stopped by Zavalon.
Zavalon does well because Riera's trying to tease him in because he knows that the central defender hasn't come out to cover and the space is in there.
Kim's ball to Bednar. West Bromwich Albion just want a spell where they can hang on to the ball. It's coming back at them all the time. Zavalon. Miller slips away from Aurelio. Well, who's waiting in the middle for this pullback? Ooh, squirmed out of the palms of Pepe Reina.
And you can see there 3 Albion players in the box. All right, Reina coughs it up. He'll be frustrated and disappointed. But he's got options. He's got his head up, seeing what he wants. Just not a good delivery. And if Reina was lucky because he's off his post, he's off his line. And he'd be happy to see that go outside of the post.
One of the last 3 Golden Gloves of the season, Pepe Reina, but that was almost into the back of his own net. It's Valero's corner. And you get the feeling West Bromwich Albion have to make those set pieces count. Plenty of height. Aurelio, it's a good ball. Carson off his line, out of his goal. And Liverpool have a second. Robbie Keane is on fire. Fabulous finish. Cool head. It's 2-0.
When managers and coaches talk about conceding goals at set plays, they normally mean it from one of the oppositions. They will hate this at West Brom, the fact that they've conceded a goal from their own corner. Here it is. They don't contain the ball in and around the 18-yard area. Liverpool, the break is there. Again, Keane between 2 central defenders. A whiff of offside, yep. But another great left-foot finish from Keane. And you can't deny it. The run is there. Benayoun draws the defender away. Little skip past Carson. Should Carson stay on his feet? Wrong if he does, wrong if he doesn't.
He just loves playing against West Bromwich Albion. 8 goals against him in his last 6 league starts now for Robbie Keane. And Liverpool have this 2-goal cushion. And West Bromwich Albion are hanging on to the ropes for half-time. It's Zavalon.
Got the call in the end. They're not containing his movement. There seems to be no communication between the 2 central defenders, because if he's between them, at least one of them can see him. So if that's the case, they talk. They don't. He's in there, he's running. There's nowhere near. That's why Carson has to dive in like that, because he feels it's a desperate situation, which, of course, it was.
2-0 to Liverpool, 2 for Robbie Keane. A darling of the Kop, becoming that way. Here's again, skipping away from Donk. West Bromwich Albion just don't really have an answer to this Liverpool movement.
Did say I was in the mood, didn't I?
He's got it back, but just strayed. What can Tony Mowbray do at half-time? Is it damage limitation, another goal, or a goal for West Bromwich Albion would change the whole complexion, of course.
And that's what he's got to pin his hope on. He said, OK, at the moment 2-0, doesn't look good. When we make this 2-1, then it becomes a really edgy contest, and it gives Benitez more problems than he wants on his own backyard.
To the 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half.
1 minute.
Liverpool just doubling up on Roman Bednar.
They work well as a unit, Liverpool. You can see them hustling in midfield as groups, not just individuals.
Well, the goal now for the visitors would change everything.
It's the second ball is important now.
They waved on. No, eventually Peter Walton blowing his whistle for the little arm off there from Bednar.
Was late coming, I thought, the whistle. I just thought when that comes in there with players like Bednar, if they get the flick, it's how you deal with that as a defence. Oh, you'd have to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was onside. Still a good finish, by the way.
So cool from Keane. Setting himself there as well. Benayoun. Robbie Keane again with the give and go, just went behind him.
It's beginning to show signs, isn't it? The Cout-Keane combination.
Well, they used to call Robbie Fowler Red Hot Robbie. There's another one here at Anfield now. Robbie Keane with 2 goals for Liverpool. His first Premier League goals in a Liverpool shirt. He's waited a long, long time, but Gerrard slipping him through here. Great finish from Keane. Not the first. And his second wasn't too far away either here. Scott Carson out of his goal. Look at that for composure. Robbie Keane with both goals for Liverpool. It was a good start by West Bromwich Albion, but Liverpool have worn them down. They've been dominant, and they have the lead at the break at Anfield. At half-time, it's Liverpool 2, West Bromwich Albion 0.
For the Fulham game in the Reds.
As it stands, Liverpool are heading back to the top of the Premier League. What response have West Bromwich Albion got in this second half? If they are to do something dramatic, they'll have to do what they haven't done for 23 years and score a goal against Liverpool.
You're thinking about the next goal being probably the most vital goal of the game. If it goes to West Brom, then there's a bit of a competition to be had. If it goes to Liverpool, you can see them taking that advantage and really stretching it.
This is Dirk Kuyt. Now Benayoun. It's a lovely ball from Yossi Benayoun. It's another lovely run from Robbie Keane. It's another lovely back heel from Keane.
And there's a lot more space than West Brom would like. With the form Keane's in, with the sort of attitude Benitez has got in this side now, you cannot leave that much space and expect them not to go in there and exploit it.
Sammy Lee there on Rafa Benitez's right. Huge character at this club. Back at Anfield now. He speaks fluent Spanish, would you believe, Sammy Lee, after his spell at Osasuna. At that awful time in charge at Bolton Wanderers last season, but back at the club where his heart is. There's Zavalon. Greening's ball looking here for Ishmael Miller.
I think they've got to try that a little bit more. Sorry, Gary, they've got to try and get Miller in that channel. Get him running. He's big, he's powerful, he'll scare defenders. Release him. At the moment, they're nowhere near threatening enough in that space in behind Liverpool's defence.
Well, this is a good position for West Bromwich Albion. Can they use it, though? West Bromwich Albion need a good start to this second half to give themselves belief, but not the best ball from Jonathan Greening. Benayoun doing the hunting down.
But look at the pressure they're putting on. Keane, Benayoun, Kaut, they'll work hard across that line.
Looks like Paul Robinson is struggling. Bednar to Miller's left. And West Bromwich Albion will hope that Liverpool may think the points are in the bag here and may take the foot off the gas, but as Gary mentioned, the way that they're haranguing the West Bromwich Albion back line and closing down already, that doesn't appear to be the case.
And don't forget, if they look as if they're showing any complacency, a certain Benitez will pop up in the technical area and remind them of their duty.
He will. And there's a certain F. Torres on the bench.
That is motivation, by the way.
Liverpool don't normally need motivation when they're attacking the Kop end. It's Robbie Keane. The tricks are coming out from every player.
Good idea, but it was not quite executed as well as he'd had hoped. But he's given that natural balance to Benitez's team. They've lacked that natural left-sided player for such a long time, and they've been trying to shove square pegs in round holes. Now they've got someone who looks so comfortable out there. Given them a couple of goals, seems to have assimilated himself quite quickly into the Anfield team.
A Liverpool win here will put them 8 points clear of Manchester United following United's defeat. And that will mean a lot to these Liverpool fans. I know Sir Alex Ferguson has played down the fact that United would level Liverpool's 18 league titles were they to be successful this season. Believe me, that's something Sir Alex Ferguson would like to achieve, but Liverpool fans here will want to make sure they stay at least one step ahead of the old rivals from down the East Lancashire Road.
The fact that Liverpool have not won a title for so long really does grind with them. I think that is something that Rafa Benitez has made plain to his team, to his staff, and everybody within the club understands the agenda.
Well, a poll in the local newspaper here this week says Liverpool fans, 63% of them, say they have to put the Premier League title ahead of winning the Champions League. Just 11% say they want to win the Champions League again. Of course, it was done just 3 years ago.
How many of them said they want both?
I think that was about 5%.
No, 101% probably.
Well, thanks for keeping me on my toes. Arbeloa. Now Benayoun. Liverpool driving at the heart of West Bromwich Albion again. Unusual error from Steven Gerrard.
But look at the numbers. They are swarming through, and at the moment West Brom are just standing there, just trapped. They don't have an answer to this. For my mind, the answer is do not give the ball away in your own half. Try and keep possession. Try and release Miller. Bednar isn't the sort of player that threatens you in behind. He's the player that you play through. Miller certainly is with his pace, and they've got to try and get it. And that means working extremely hard. You see how deep Gerrard is right now. He's not allowing you to pick him up with any comfort. He is so mobile.
He has been criticised at times this season, Tony Mowbray, for not playing two strikers. But the two are in tandem here at Anfield, but we've only had scraps, if that, to feed off. Penetrating run from Mascherano. It's Kaut, and away by Donk. Now Gerrard. Another mistake from Steven Gerrard. He's trying to redeem himself. Riera. Now Mascherano. Diego Maradona was at Liverpool's Melwood training ground yesterday to see Mascherano, see Rafa Benitez. Saw a lot more people than he bargained for as well. Jamie Carragher brought his family along to have their photo taken with Maradona. And West Bromwich Albion with a little sight of goal there.
And they took the strike. Didn't panic, didn't try and lay it off, took the pop, and I think that's important for them, that they can penetrate.
Yeah, maybe just give them a little bit of confidence. It's Kout's pullback. Benayoun trying to capitalise. Robinson's clearance just had enough legs on it. This is Kim.
Not been involved a great deal, Kim, has he? Not seen a lot of possession. Been difficult for him in that wider position when you don't see a lot of the ball to get involved in the game and have the effect you'd like.
Valero. Ishmael Miller. Robinson. Nice switch of play, and the header was well won by Bednar.
We saw a lot of that in the early stages of the first half when West Brom were quite dominant. So maybe playing up to Bednar, get the knockback, move from there.
They do have busy players that pick up those knockdowns, the likes of Corrin and Valero. He's on the ball here. Now Kim. Good little spell this from West Bromwich Albion. Greening trying to get the better of Gerrard. Both went lunging in. Riera. Keane. Riera thought he was impeded as he tried to make his way forward. Firmly waved away by Peter Walton.
Everyone but the referee thought it was a foul, but there you go.
He's the man in charge. Corrin. Loves to run with the ball, can slide Miller in here. Elected to take the shot on instead.
Just beginning to get that space. His influence is vital to West Brom. I think Miller's got an issue with the fact the shot's taken, but it opens itself up. It's on his left foot. Slices across it. Disappointing from his point of view because he'd like to have cut that across Rayner. Gone for the far post. Didn't happen. All right, Mr. Moore.
Yeah, Luke Moore being readied. Tony Mowbray looking for this goal to get his side back in this game. It will be a positive change from the West Bromwich Albion manager. Nothing else he can do, though.
Didn't plan on losing. Expected to have a phase of the game when they were under pressure, but he was hoping he'd be pushing this sort of stage at 0-0 rather than 2-0. So he's got to be positive about the decisions he makes now.
Greening stooping low. Bednar with the layoff. Back heel this time from Corrin. There's Donk.
Certainly a good face for West Brom.
Lift confidence to have a spell with the ball, but Steven Gerrard breaks up that phase of play. This is Cout. Riera in space. Options waiting inside the penalty area. Corrin getting back goal side. Huge drive from the Kop.
He's got quick feet, Riera, but on that occasion he doesn't quite have the full control of the ball. I think that's what's affected the referee's decision.
Valero, West Bromwich Albion still trying to play their football when they have the opportunity. Robinson keeps the ball in play. Jonas Olsen. Bednar running from side to side. Ball had gone away from him. Gerrard. It's a lovely driven ball with the outside of his boot. Riera looking for some support. Great touch. Cout and Keane in the middle.
Keane goes near. Cout stays around about the penalty spot. No one threatens far post, and he knows you've got to get that extra runner in there, contain that or tap it in.
Well, West Bromwich Albion. We're about to bring on Luke Moore. Here he is. Double change though. Roman Bednar comes off and Luke Moore comes on.
West Brom leaving the field, number 9.
A good sign for West Bromwich Albion. A nice moment. Santa Teixeira is about to come on, but Luke Moore hunting that elusive goal for him. Coming on for West Bromwich Albion. And it's Kim whose return from injury is off. And a huge roar for the return of Felipe Teixeira, whose last game was back in March. And West Bromwich Albion players warming up at Queen's Park Rangers at the back end of last season wore T-shirts for him because of the awful injury he picked up. He's back now, a double change from Tony Mowbray.
It's positive. You can see what he's trying to achieve. Moore's got some pace, so maybe they'll change that little bit of footballing ethos for a more direct style of play.
This is Riera looking for Keane and also Cout. Matter of fractions.
And Robinson just bulks Dirk Cout there as he's coming in. Just make sure he doesn't get the touch he wants. You see it here when it goes wide. Riera's looking there. Cout makes the run. Robinson, there you go. Just bulks him. Make sure doesn't make the contact needed.
The Kop responding. They want the cushion of a third goal. He'll want to come on and get that goal. Made in Madrid, loved in Liverpool. Olsen. Oh, it's drifted to Miller. Huge opportunity for Ismail Miller to try and pull West Bromwich Albion back in this game. So it goes begging.
Let's talk about communication between defenders. Gets a call to let it go from somewhere. Whoa, Miller is so surprised. It's raining, you can see it's raining, and surface has got a bit greasy, but even still.
What an opportunity. Gerrard trying to play in Robbie Keane.
Just about gets there, but just about is enough. Little complacent slip like that will have Rafa Benitez screaming at the top of his voice in the technical area. And it's not quite going Liverpool's way. We're pushing the hour mark. All right, the rain you can do nothing about. Even he can do nothing about that. But he will get his players in the right frame of mind for the remaining minutes. That's vital.
Well, that's a reminder for Liverpool that this game is not over. Almost the perfect gift there for Ismail Miller. Just didn't anticipate it, did he?
Thing is, Miller, a young player, will probably be rewinding that event in his mind right now. The sort of arrogance we discussed with Bednar. Let it go. Clear your mind, because the next opportunity might present itself immediately.
That was a risky ball as well.
Just as well it comes off, otherwise real problems.
Dirk out into the path of Gerrard again, stabbing the ball forward. And Robbie Keane just went too early.
Oh, you know, I think it is exactly that. It's tight. This is really tight. Watch the movement. Okay, it's not as tight as I thought. But the movement is what's really got West Brom in problems.
Wasn't far away though, was it?
But you can see there's no answer for it. West Brom did not have the answer. They played a high line. They got caught for Keane's second goal. They were going to get caught on that occasion.
Liverpool go to Bolton Wanderers in the next Premier League game. The pursuit of this elusive Premier League title. Keane after this. Ryan Donk trying to get back goal side. Keane on a hat-trick taken away from him.
What is Donk thinking? What on earth is he thinking, allowing that ball to travel that far, allowing it to bounce? Keane for me takes a strike there. Tries to get the defender off balance. Big long leg just gets in there. Whoa, should have been number 3, Robbie.
Well, it can be levelled at Ryan Donk. He can be caught sleeping, literally. Says sleeping is his hobby. Was once axed from the Alkmaar squad by Louis van Gaal for 4 months after sleeping in and missing the team bus.
Oh dear.
Now has 2 alarm clocks just to make sure he gets up for training at West Bromwich Albion. But it's been a tough baptism of fire for Ryan Donk in the back line for West Bromwich Albion this season. Olsen. Typically tenacious, robust challenge from Gerrard. It's Ben Ayoun. Now Dirk out. Gerrard, Vieira out to his left. Keane through the middle here. Almost slipped in.
Desperate to try and set him up for his hat-trick.
Vieira tangling and barged over. It's a fair challenge. Jamie Carragher with it.
Probably not come across Jamie Carragher before, has he? Going to take a little bit more to nudge him off the ball, as he now knows.
Welcome back to the game. Gerrard to Keane, turns away from Donk again. Keane, Couts and Ben Ayoun all waiting. Zavalon just does enough, just prevents the corner. Corrin with Fabio Aurelio for company.
Just didn't quite work at Aurelio, did he? I think he wasn't cute enough to move the defender off balance and cut inside, which is what he was hoping to do.
Teixeira again, trying to cut a way through. Valero. It's breaking down for West Bromwich Albion in that final third.
You see Teixeira's there having an influence. Bit of a positive influence as well, and I think that's exactly what Tony Mowbray was hoping for when he introduced him. Definitely got that extra body up there, seems to be sat in, and they're looking to play through him.
There he is again. It's a really good ball in. Liverpool returned. Unger made sure he put it behind.
That's what we weren't seeing in the first half particularly. When the cross comes in, defenders weren't facing their own goal. They are now, and look at the problems they're having. There's bodies in there, there's trouble.
There's Paul Robinson with the ball across. We've mentioned it many times. West Bromwich Albion need to capitalise on these situations. Again, it's a poor ball.
They're not getting it around the Liverpool screen at the front on the near post. Now, that's happened a couple of times from corners. You've got to realise you've got to come with better, because it's there for a reason, to stop you progressing into that area.
Well, winning the corner counts, but haven't made one count. That's a better ball. Off the head of Jimmy Carragher. I think it was just back. Ryan Babel, Liverpool's very own super sub these days. He's coming on. Will he run at his great mate Zabalon, the fullback for West Bromwich Albion? Those two big pals. Still, Fernando Torres waits.
If Benitez isn't 100% convinced about Fernando Torres and his outright fitness, why rush him back? Why give him a problem to re-injure himself? For this game, it's not something desperate to put a win in. So therefore, don't sacrifice another 6 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, for the sake of this.
Well, he didn't play, Torres, against Atletico Madrid at Anfield the other night because he was fit, but didn't quite believe that he was fit to take a game as of yet. As Benitez says, he wasn't confident in that fitness just yet. He is on the bench, as we mentioned, but as Gary says, he may just wait. League Cup side to come against Spurs during the week, and then that trip to Bolton in the Premier League next week. So Ryan Babel is about to come on for Albert Riera. Straight swap on that left-hand side for Liverpool. Benayoun. Mascherano. Arbeloa.
That's good work from West Brom. Liverpool aren't able to progress as fluidly as they'd like.
That's Valero squeezing the ball back. Now Paul Robinson. Luke Moore, West Bromwich Albion just trying to create something here. Drag themselves back in this game.
They've certainly looked a better outfit with the introduction of the two substitutes, West Brom. A little bit more threat. Luke Moore certainly providing that.
Still waiting for his first goal for West Bromwich Albion. Riera is about to make way. Ryan Babel will come on. He's settled in well to life at Anfield, Albert Riera. But Ryan Babel coming on, super sub. Only the original super sub, David Fairclough, has scored more goals for Liverpool from a substitutes bench in the history of this club. But Robbie Keane with both goals here. Liverpool 2-0 ahead.
Good finishes. He'll be hoping for opportunities like that. Remaining minutes, Robbie Keane. Always seems to be a special K at Anfield, isn't there?
Hoping to go away with the match ball, Robbie Keane, or one of them. So Babylon, and Riera is off for Liverpool. First chance to run, Ryan Babel and his great pal, Johnny Zavalon. He's away from it. Great first burst forward from the Dutch international. Not over yet for West Bromwich Albion. It will be now, though. Just.
I think Babel knows exactly what he's doing there, and West Brom have got to be aware if they leave Zavalon isolated, he's going to get burnt up by Babel.
Well, it was Babel who convinced Zavalon to move to West Bromwich Albion. Yellow card there for Arbeloa, his 6th of the season.
So the referee's pulled it back.
He's becoming Liverpool's hard man in the card count anyway.
Well, you're going to be a hard man to get yellow cards.
Ishmael Miller waiting here for West Bromwich Albion, just in a D outside the penalty area. Donk and Olsen race forward. Gained plenty back for Liverpool and dealt with comfortably.
And again, it's the second ball. West Brom, as the attacking side, should be really focused on picking up the second ball. For my mind, they don't have enough presence around the edge of the 18-yard area.
It's Gerrard finding Arbeloa here. Javier Mascherano. Zavalon. Teixeira. Ball just knocked away from him. Again, it's Mascherano closing down. That's Dirk Kuyt.
They're finding it difficult to get their rhythm back, Liverpool. They've not got that dominance we saw at the latter stages of the first half, certainly not. They need to raise the tempo of the game, more than capable of doing so.
West Bromwich Albion have been struggling for goals so far this season. They were the leading scorers in all 4 divisions in the last campaign. Different prospect, of course, in the Premier League. Tony Mowbray in the hunt for a striker come January. Fizzed back at Daniel Agger. Babel, tight space, almost worked it.
And again, we're discussing West Brom giving the ball away in their own half.
Ishmael Miller doing the closing down. Liverpool firmly in command. West Bromwich Albion just had that 5, maybe 10-minute spell of possession in the second half, but Liverpool look to have ridden the mini storm that came their way for now. 2 goals from Robbie Keane. He's given them this 2-goal lead. Aurelio thought he was pulled away from the ball by Zavalon. Aurelio's done well to win it back. And who can he find in the middle? It's Dirk Kuyt trying to take the shot up.
So I think Kuyt's feeling that he was impeded there when he's about to take the strike. But once again, Zavalon coughs up possession around the edge of the 18-yard area, and look what happens.
Well, Tony Mowbray about to make his final change here. He certainly hasn't been afraid to change things around. He knows he has to pull West Bromwich Albion back into this game somehow. A goal would change the whole complexion of that. Liverpool on top with this 2-goal lead. I'm not unduly worried. The West Bromwich Albion might be now. It's Benayoun, Carson retreating. Benayoun trying to find Robbie Keane. They're determined to try and set him up for his hat-trick.
He was never going to get there as a ground pass. Oh, there's an interesting man. What do you think's happening now?
Have a feeling that Fernando Torres is about to come on, unless he's tried to drop the hint to his manager by taking his coat off. So Chris Brunt about to come on for West Bromwich Albion, and it's Ishmael Miller who will come off. Teixeira has seen a lot of the ball and he's just been upended.
I've got a bit of sympathy for Mascherano. That looked like a legitimate challenge, but the referee's well placed. He's on top of that. Dangerous position for Liverpool.
So Chris Brunt on the winger, can play as a striker. Ishmael Miller's first game at senior level at Anfield comes to an end. It's been a frustrating time for Ishmael Miller. And
well,
Bednar
he started off
as
a central striker, didn't he, Miller? And with the introduction of Teixeira, he's had to go to a wide right area, and that's not really getting the best out of him. And I think Brunt suits that role more than Miller does. I think that's the thinking. This one might be self-explanatory.
The boy is back. Fernando Torres has missed the last 6 games. Started on the bench here this afternoon. He is ready to come on. First of all, West Bromwich Albion have this free kick. Almost bent in. Pepe Reina seen sprawling across his goal there. Chris Brunt, what an impact that would have been.
Yes, the sort of thing you hope for. Walk on, take a free kick, score with your first touch, and he's not that far away. Reina's got to be comfortable. He's stretching, he's diving, and he knows, just like we do now, how close that was.
Well, Robbie Keane will not be getting his hat-trick here this evening. Off he comes. What a display though from Keane. 2 goals in the first half, the 2 goals that have given Liverpool this lead. He was determined to try and get his hat-trick. A standing ovation for Robbie Keane, and they will stay on their feet and welcome back their hero. And number 9, they've come to it all. Fernando Torres is back on the field for Liverpool.
Not a bad player to have bring into the action from the bench. It just shows you are at one of the world's greatest clubs, and you would expect talent aplenty.
You would call that strength in depth.
Yes. But the thing is, because of last season, everyone expects him to walk on and grab a hat-trick in 20 minutes. He's coming back from an injury layoff, and he'd be a little bit tentative, I would imagine. However, given half the chance, I'm sure he'll not disappoint.
21 goals in 21 Premier League appearances for Fernando Torres at Anfield. He normally scores here.
How do you feel if you're a West Brom defender? You've spent the best part of an hour, 70 minutes dealing with Keane and Cow. Now you have one of the world's, seriously, one of the world's top strikers to contend with. Not that Robbie Keane is that bad, by the way.
Head for the team bus, I suppose. Well, Fernando Torres will be desperate to get his goal. He's got to, and it will be an almighty relief for him to break his Premier League duck. Rafa Benitez will have to wipe his glasses shortly, I think.
You think they'd get a roof on the dugout, wouldn't you?
I think he's asking Sammy Lee what's going on. 2-0, Liverpool lead at Anfield. They are just over 15 minutes away from reclaiming top spot in the Premier League. Their work is done.
See, you look at the scoreline and you're thinking, well, there was that at half-time. Liverpool haven't been able to improve upon that. Is that down to West Brom, or is that down to Liverpool's complacency, or just taking their foot off the pedal a bit? And I think really Liverpool have just eased off on the gas. I think they really haven't driven home the advantage they showed they had at the end of the first half.
Well, they've been strong here in the Premier League, Liverpool, since that defeat by Manchester United last December. Heading towards victory. And the third goal, and a goal for Torres, will be the icing on the cake for them. Count was trying to link up there with Torres.
You see Olsen there, knowing full well Torres is around.
I mentioned that Rafa Benitez very rarely likes to sacrifice Dirk Kuyt. It was Robbie Keane who got the hook for Fernando Torres to come on.
Well, he's quite regularly substituted Keane in the game, so Keane could be unaware that it might have happened.
Yeah, he's not completed 90 minutes for Liverpool since the win here against Manchester United. West Bromwich Albion will keep playing their football. They'll try and get a goal just to try and put the cat amongst the pigeons in the final few minutes here. Look who's back defending, Yossi Benayoun. There's Robert Corrin. Chris Brunt, Rayner's come a long way. It's a good decision.
What a great ball that is. Keeps Rayner on his toes, forces him off the line, makes a decision.
Gerrard just trying to turn that ball forward.
Didn't even hesitate, did he, Gerrard? Knew exactly, things about seeing pictures, knows exactly what he wants, where his players are.
There he is again, that purposeful stride of his. Well, Liverpool have West Bromwich Albion turned here.
Zavalon almost gives up. Torres' body shape there, as that ball comes into him, he's already going in the right direction. Zavalon's really showing himself to be a little bit naive in that position right now.
And time for another change. Xabi Alonso has been in outstanding form for Liverpool. Still may leave in the January transfer window. Still speculation about him. The fans don't want him to go. And he's been in excellent form for Liverpool. He's ready to come on.
Definitely gives Liverpool another dimension. He's got one of the best ranges of passing any player in the Premier League.
Jonas Olsen. Steven Gerrard is about to come off for Liverpool. Rafa Benitez did speak yesterday about the intensity of the games that Liverpool have faced of late. The game against Tottenham last week, which they thought they should have won but lost late on, and the Champions League encounter here with Atletico Madrid, the effort put into getting a draw late on in that game.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see who Benitez wants to take out of the action for Alonso, but it comes down to asset management. Quite simply, you've got a lot of things coming up. This is just one in a list of important games.
He hasn't rotated as much so far this season, Rafa Benitez.
And I think their league position justifies why not.
Greening. Zavalon. Just gave the ball away to Babel. Just got himself out of jail. Corrin. Jonathan Greening. Given away by Valero. Now Babel with an opportunity to run. And what he does. Zavalon trying to get stuck in back at him. Good body strength from Babel. Torres was just hoping that Donk may just miscue that header. Brunt can't get to that. Carragher can. Now Yossi Benayoun. A lovely slip ball in. It's Fernando Torres. The headlines were almost written for him.
Great pass from Benayoun, and you can see as soon as Torres receives what he's about to intend. And it's the strike. It's so venomous. Always a good, invariably a good clean strike from Torres.
He can create his own opportunities, Fernando Torres, running either side at defenders. Seen so many goals like that.
Well, that's what makes him such a legitimate threat. Not only is in a team that will supply him very well, but if that doesn't come, he creates his own opportunities, he makes things happen.
Liverpool don't need the rescue act from that man tonight. The captain, Steven Gerrard, is off. Liverpool in a seemingly comfortable position. The real heartbeat of this side. And Xabi Alonso is on. Zavalon with this throw in for West Bromwich Albion. Ricochet, but Luke Moore just offside. After this then, West Bromwich Albion home to Chelsea. After that, a run of games where they may think they can pick up points. Stoke away, Wigan away, Portsmouth at home. So those games that Tony Mowbray will probably see as more crucial.
Yes, the contenders for where you will be most likely to end up at the end of May, middle of May. But if you're going to go down that route of easy pickings in the Premier League, you know what's going to happen now. There is no such thing. I mean, everyone thought Hull City was a three-point give-me. That's not the case. Stoke, tough to break down, tough to beat.
Well, that's why it's so tight. Torres trying to glide away from Zavalon. Torres trying that little kick there.
Better defended from Zavalon, holds off Torres, doesn't allow him to get into that space behind him.
It is the going into this weekend the tightest Premier League since the formation of the Premier League.
Well, that's what you want. I think this season is without a doubt the most competitive. I think everybody has got to grips from the top to the middle to the bottom. And the joys, you know, the Hulls and Stokes who have proven not to be Premier League cannon fodder.
Teixeira. Zavalon. Corrin has Zavalon here for support. Pushing the final 8 minutes plus stoppage time at Anfield. Liverpool that long away from going back top of the Premier League above Chelsea. They play tomorrow against Blackburn. Torres, nice touch. Cout. Torres again. Babel over on that side of the field. Babel driving it, Zavalon looking for Dirk out.
They had a good phase of possession, West Brom, then all of a sudden Liverpool are let loose and they're being cut to ribbons. Torres, a beautiful pass, Babel's pace. Zavalon really nowhere near defending this. And it's a tight one for Kaut. He's come beyond the near post, asking him to get a touch that's going to be goal bound there. Very difficult.
Important game this evening for Liverpool to bounce back from that defeat against Tottenham last week in the Premier League. 6 years ago when they had a better start than this. They were 1 point ahead of where they are now, and it was this weekend when they lost at Middlesbrough. Gareth Southgate got the goal, and after that Liverpool didn't win for their next 10 Premier League matches, and their title chase was over.
I think for the fact we've just been discussing, it is such a competitive league this season. That is why they need to get this game won, done and move on.
Tony Mowbray back down the M6 to the Midlands to prepare for that game against Chelsea. Then the games get slightly easier.
When you start looking at the fixtures and you see Liverpool and Chelsea coming up as West Brom manager, you wouldn't be looking to come in here to take 3 points away. It's not something you'd have been strategizing for, because you don't just have a strategy for one game. You look at the whole beginning of a season, the first 3 or 4 months.
This is Moore. Now Chris Brunt. Another good ball in from Chris Brunt, not for the first time.
Well, talk about a positive impact from a substitute. The free kick, 2 beautiful crosses in there. It's not just the accuracy, it's the pace at which they come in. Now you think about it, it's raining, it's slippy, you're facing your own goal. Accidents happen, and crosses like that force them.
A goal here for West Bromwich Albion. It will get a lot more nervy around Anfield. This time just overhits the delivery, Brunt. Look how many have read it back for Liverpool. Luke Moore battling gamely. Pepe Reina determined to keep another clean sheet here.
Oh, will he ever? Goalkeepers, you know as well as I do, pride themselves.
Almost got too much there for Rafa Benitez.
At least he can smile.
Someone has slipped. Mascherano. Torres trying to remain onside. It's Yossi Benayoun. Just in front of Couts and Torres behind Babel.
When you see that move developing, you notice how Torres makes his space. Just stand still, because he knows defenders are going to move away from him and create that space for him. Just couldn't get the cut back, Benayoun.
Benayoun again here, trying to lay it off to Fernando Torres, almost like they're trying to play him in.
Did. Benayoun only has setting up Torres in his mind. It doesn't quite come off.
I don't think Rafa Benitez was too impressed by that little phase of play there. Benayoun could have taken that shot on himself.
Well, Benitez will just see the fact his team wins, and he won't care too much about individual goal scorers.
Babel flattened. Play waved off.
Just say that was his mate, Zavalon.
It was. There's Dirk Kuyt. Solid professional display so far from Liverpool this evening. They took the punches West Bromwich Albion rained upon them early on, and they forced their game upon West Bromwich Albion, and the goals came at a crucial time. 2 from Robbie Keane within 9 minutes in that first half.
Just like to have seen them take the dominance of their game forward in terms of goals.
And Dirk Kuyt trying for a third.
Maybe a bit of frustration at not having a goal-scoring opportunity for himself. A really clean-cut one.
If it stays this way, West Bromwich Albion will remain in the bottom 3. As we mentioned, it's so tight down there. A victory for them here this evening would have lifted them into a mid-table position. Of course, they just won't want to get cut off down in that bottom 3. With that game against Chelsea on the horizon as well. But so many teams are taking points off each other.
Robertson does well there, because little Torres wants to duel over.
This is Teixeira. Jamie Carragher stops him. Arbeloa will try and complete it. Not having it all his own way, though, the Spaniard. And a foul, I think, by Jonas Olsson. Little push under the eyes of assistant referee Dave Richardson.
Yeah, I wondered if the referee would bring that back about 10 yards.
In a tough afternoon, tough evening for the West Bromwich Albion back four.
Well, you didn't expect to come to Anfield and have a day off, did you?
Of course, they have to settle into life in the Premier League. Donk and Olsen together, and Zavalon at right back. Paul Robinson at left back knows all about the Premier League. The rough and tumble of it. Teixeira, Valero. Mascherano's challenge on Robinson. That's another yellow card.
Did seem to catch him late. What Mascherano thinks of that.
Next Argentinian captain, we believe. It's been such a long time since West Bromwich Albion scored here. That Garth Crooks goal 23 years ago, just to end that record, will give them a little bit of hope here, make the journey a little bit better on the M6 for those fans who've had to come here almost year after year when they're in the Premier League in a top flight.
That's good defending from Liverpool.
Daniel Agger. Torres just gone too soon.
Donk seemed to stick his arm up for offside in hope rather than really being too convincing there.
You don't do that, defenders, do you?
Occasionally.
Well, they're still bouncing. They do come here, the West Bromwich Albion fans, in dread more than hope. They just can't seem to score or get anything against Liverpool.
Well, at the moment, goals are really in short supply for them.
It's Corrin. We'll have 3 minutes of stoppage time. Corrin again. He can open up defences, but not that time. And Arbeloa does the best thing, just gets rid.
He's got to, just plain and simple. Keep it out of the danger area, and if you have to give a corner away, you give it away, and then you can defend again. But this, with Brunt's delivery, is going to be hard work.
Brunt with that corner. Oh, a firm header away. Daniel Agger with it.
And so far, Liverpool have dealt quite well with the set-piece threat that West Brom will pose you.
Job done, almost.
Yeah, you look at the history books in years to come, you won't find that it was a wet evening, you won't find that Liverpool could and should have scored so many more goals. You'll just look at the fact they've won quite comfortably 2-0. You're just thinking for Rafa Benitez and the way that this season is beginning to unfold at the top end of the Premier League, that you need to get goals, you need to be at the top end of your form, really have to, and for Liverpool that's vital.
3 really big wins so far this season. The comeback against Manchester City, the win here against Manchester United, and of course the win at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. But this is so important too, to bounce back and beat teams at Anfield that you're expected to.
Well, we talked about it with West Brom. They've got to win against the people that are going to be competitive to their league position. Same with Liverpool. If you can, you take the points off of Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United.
It's been a frustrating evening for Tony Mowbray. The Liverpool greeting at the end of a game, the usual one here at Anfield. The cop in full voice, "You'll never walk alone." They're starting to believe here. It's been a comfortable evening.
For some.
1990, that much lauded year from these Liverpool fans, the last time they won the title. It's been a long time coming. They've lost their challenge around about Christmas time in the past. Torres after that. This time they believe they can stay right in it.
And he knows that was his chance. Straight to the heart of West Brom's defence.
Stayed in play.
Well done, linesman.
It's Dirk out. Will Torres get another opportunity? It's Arbeloa! Liverpool are back on top of the Premier League. An unlikely scorer in Alvaro Arbeloa. It's the icing on top of the cake. It's over to Chelsea.
It's a good finish. They've just about run on vapours here, West Brom. Again, we talk about giving possession away in your own half. Lovely little pass, great overlapping run. Good finish, side netting. Knows what he wants, where he's going to put it. Carson, no chance.
And didn't he love that? Right in front of the Kop. 2 goals for Keane, 1 for Arbeloa. 3 really good goals, really different goals from Liverpool this evening.
All left-footed.
Liverpool go back to the top of the Premier League. 2 goals for Robbie Keane and 1 right at the end from Alvaro Arbeloa. What can Chelsea do now? For West Bromwich Albion, they stay in the bottom 3. An emphatic in the end victory here at Anfield for Liverpool. It's finished Liverpool 3, West Bromwich Albion 0. Liverpool victorious here at Anfield. Robbie Keane's first goal in the Premier League for his new club. Didn't he take that one well? Lovely little dink over Scott Carson. That was the first in the 34th minute. 9 minutes later, he got his second. Coolness personified. Liverpool in command at half-time. And then right at the end, look who's there. It's Alvaro Arbeloa. Fantastic finish. Liverpool are back on top of the Premier League. They've won here by 3 goals to 0.